Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so we're back on the Supra, and unfortunately, because of the timeline of this build, I didn't know if I was going to be able to get parts, and when I did, if they were going to work, so I just got lazy and didn't film video. Pretty much the turbos, I took them apart to chase down the gaskets that were broken, and once I got them apart, I realized that the impellers were damaged and there was a bit of play in the cores themselves of the turbos. So I started looking for the turbo gaskets, and I found them at Next Level Motorsport. On my searches, I went back to Next Up Performance to chase down some gaskets. They didn't have any, but they did have some second-hand turbos that had done much fewer kilometers than mine and were in much better condition. So I grabbed those for a great price as well, thanks John, and threw it all back together. So it all went together just fine. You can see the entire turbo system is enormous, and it is a real monster to wrestle back into the car, particularly by yourself, with all the way that the feed and return lines fit up. Unfortunately, when I got it back together, one of the water feed and return lines leaked. Yeah, all the turbo system went back in just fine, and then we pick up the story. Alright, so it's been a couple of days. I didn't do any videos because I was just thrashing and trying to get this done. I need it running in like an hour. So yeah, I haven't really been taking videos. But anyway, I ended up replacing the 2 exhaust manifold gaskets that go from the exhaust of like the out of the turbo into the Y pipe that goes down to the exhaust. I also replaced both exhaust gaskets and the exhaust manifold gasket to the head, and then the gasket between the exhaust manifold and the turbos, I just put a smear of goo on them because they looked okay, but I just didn't really want to risk having them leak again. I had to modify the rear turbo stay, just scallop out the brace a little bit to get it to clear some casting, because I couldn't get it to work otherwise. I cleaned up the thermostat, and yeah, pretty much just putting everything back on. So the trouble I'm having at the moment is, if you can see all the way down in there, maybe not. Well, anyway, there's 4 hoses down there, and you can see one of them. So there's 4 that need to go onto those hoses there that I'm just with the 3 lines in it where my finger is. So there's 4 hoses and they all need to attach, and 2 of them have hose clamps, and they're the lowest ones. There's one there and one there. They're incredibly difficult to get at, so I'm pretty much just gonna be here for the next 3 hours, I imagine, trying to fit 4 hoses. It's gonna be awesome. But yeah, once they're on, I just have to cut the broken piece out and glue it back on here. I couldn't get another one of these in time. And then get this piece of hose off, this rock hard piece, and get a new piece. I tried to buy some, but it's the wrong size. This is metric, I presume, and stuff I bought was Imperial because stupid Australia. Yeah, I'm not happy with these. Would have liked to have redone them, and like, some of these aren't great either, but I just don't have the time to play with them right now. So once it's all back together and running, it'll stay like that for probably 6 months, knowing me, until it's time to either upgrade or go to a single or something else breaks. So yeah, today's the day. Let's get it back together and get it going. Alright, so I just fired it up. It's running smooth as silk, no more exhaust leak. So mission success. Now I just got to put some coolant in it and fix these other little things, and then it's ready to rip. Fuck yeah. Alright, so my overnight parts from Toowoomba have arrived. So we've got some coils and some gaskets and some little crossover breather lines for the 2J. So big thanks to Golby Parts for sending these out so quickly. So with any luck, we'll be able to get the Supra going today. Alright, so we got a couple of goodies here. So there's some silicone breather hoses to go between the 2 rocker covers on the 2J. So mine are rock solid and guaranteed to break when I pull them out. So these should be nice replacements, nice and squishy. Sweet little card. These look like my coils. Should be 6 of them, so I presume 2 per packet. And then we've got the rocker cover gaskets as well. So non-VVTI, very critical. So that's one, and then that's the other. So yeah, should be able to get these in there, and pray to God this fixes the problem, because in all honesty I haven't checked that much. They're just
These are guaranteed to leak, these are guaranteed to break when I pull it off, and these are pretty buggered in my car, so changing them can't do any harm, so we'll see how we go. Alright, so here we have a brand new twin turbo 2J coil. So you can see how nice and fresh and not destroyed or covered in crap it is. And yeah, I think that because my ones have cracks down this shaft, the spark is actually arcing from the crack across to the cylinder head and not through that little spring and into the spark plug itself. So very important piece, this.
Alright, again, apologies for the lack of video, but I ordered these parts in order to replace the broken coils in the Supra, and as part of that I wanted to replace the rocker cover gaskets as well because they were quite perished and falling apart and leaking a bit of fluid and whatnot. So yeah, those parts came from Golby's, big thanks to them. Obviously they have all the greatest parts for Supras and 2Js in general. But yeah, so pretty much just pulled it all apart with Luke and replaced all the coils and the rocker cover gaskets as well as the breathers. And I ended up coming back because I didn't order the O-rings, or maybe I didn't order them in time, I can't remember. But either way, we got it all back together. The car ran great after that. It was breaking up under boost with the spark sort of escaping out the side of the coil packs. So once we replaced them, the car ran so much better, and it's been great ever since. And yeah, the rocker covers are pretty dirty too, so I got the opportunity to clean them. And of course, Luke had to pull a power stance.
Alright, so we're doing the little rocker cover hold down washers at the moment. So I got all the old ones off over there. I'm just putting the new ones on now. So they came from Golby Parts up in Toowoomba. Brand new, nice and squishy like rubber should be instead of rock hard like they were. Get 13 in a pack. They come from Permaseal. So yeah, throw those on now, and then that's pretty much everything for the rocker covers done. And I also found this heater hose. Sorry, this is a heater hose that will fit where the Supra heater hose used to be. However, this is off a 5 litre VL, which is a Holden product, and it goes between the water pump and the thermostat housing, I believe. So yeah, good score, fits perfectly. Is a tiny little bit short, but because there's so much slack in those hoses up there, those ones, ignore all this garbage, the one behind it, it'll work just fine. So yeah. So a 5 litre VL thermostat housing to water pump hose is a perfect replacement for the heater hose on a twin turbo Supra. That goes from here down to that hose there. So just like that. It's a perfect fit. So if anybody needs to replace it, Super Cheap Auto stock them. It's the part number from the cars, whatever they're called. And I think there's one more part number on here somewhere. There we go. Alright, so I just installed the new water hose for just here. So you can see it comes from the heater box and coils around here and goes down into the cylinder head. It's down here. I don't know if you can see that very well. Quite bad. Won't focus. Well, anyway, it goes down into the cylinder head, just here somewhere, just there. And yeah, so this is off the VL Commodore 5 litre thermostat housing to water pump. And it feels a little bit long, but I mean, I don't really know. The one that was in there was already pretty buggered. But it fits, and I'll just throw hose clamps on and it should be good to go. So the old one that was on there, I don't know if you can actually see in this or not, but the inside of it had actually collapsed, and there's like chunks of rubber just sort of balling up and falling off in there. So it's like rubber sand went through the whole engine. You can see little chunks of it all through there. So I had to flush the whole, there you go, there's a big chunk of it. So that's what happened to the hose. It collapsed on the inside and just started pumping that through the engine. So I flushed the whole engine as best I could. I can't get at the thermostat while the turbos are on, so I didn't get that out. But I'm hoping that I got the majority of it, and that once I put all these hoses back together and put some new coolant in it, it'll be mint. But yeah, that's very frustrating, and hopefully why the heater wasn't working. So again, hopefully once this is fixed, the heater will work a bit better. But yeah, for now, just got a new hose in and we'll button it all up. I'm just bleeding up the coolant system in the Supra, and I thought while I was waiting I might cut this hose open to give you a better look inside. So it looks like the main spot it was leaking from was this split here. There was another split up here, but I think that we managed to clamp that off with a hose clamp. But sorry, maybe that was where it was leaking from. Was that one there? I can't remember. I think it was that one. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to cut it open and see what's going on inside. So forgive me trying to do this with the camera. See if we can get some decent angles happening. Probably not. Alright, you're just going to have to sit there for a second. Cut it open a little bit more. So that, you can see what the inside of the hose was looking like, and that is likely why the heater wasn't working, because all of this was just like that green stuff there is the rope that's in the center of the hose there, and it's just completely exposed because the rubber's just disintegrated so much. Oh, that's a good shot. So you can see that this hose was completely ineffective, and obviously it collapsed and started to split and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's why we changed it out. So hopefully this new one right there will stand the test of time, and the VL will save the mighty Supra. Who'd have thought? So yeah, only time will tell.